Hey there, Samuel Larsen here from crogurus. I'm going to share my best Shopify checkout optimization tips on this video. And we're going to cover the methods that don't cost you anything, that are really doable in 15 minutes. So we're just going to keep it super actionable. I'm going to jump into it right now and let's get started. So obviously, first things first. The Shopify checkout is this part right after the cart where you have the steps, information, shipping, and payment. Now, this is the standard one. This is the non-plus or the non-advanced one that you cannot customize. So what you can do here is just go to themes and press customize. From here, you can edit all the basic stuff. We're not going to cover them too much here, but just make sure that your fonts match the site and that your button colors are the same throughout. So every single color here that is leading to the sale should be the same. So don't have orange here, for example, if the rest of your site is blue. So that's to make sure that the experience is consistent. Obviously, you want to change the logo as well. So you'll have an actual logo here and not just text. You'll need to upload it separately, so it won't naturally pull from your Shopify logo from the main navigation. So remember the way you get here: themes, customize, and then just select the checkout from the left-hand side here. So you go theme settings, checkout, and here you have the options. So it's pretty much a plug and play. Here you can set the colors, the heading typography, and the fonts. Cool. So once you have done that, let's jump into a little bit more fancier, more advanced optimizations that you can start worrying about once you have taken care of the basics. So one of the problems with the Shopify's checkout is that you cannot build phone numbers and emails into it. So there's no room for support emails. Here what we did with this client is we added a telephone and an email to this account, and from here they can see that if they have questions, it's just a little confirmation that oh, they are here to help. And when I suggest this to my clients, they always ask like, okay, what if people call? And to my answer to that is just let them. Like, you can have that go to voicemail, and if you want, you can return that call. But you don't have to be there all the time. And an easy way to get a phone number is just to get a Skype subscription. And from there, you can have the phone number relatively cheaply. You'll get all the voicemails to your Skype. Basically, this is also a way to get to know a little bit more about the customer's concerns, and also a good way to convert those higher end offers. Because let's say you have a really high-end product, like $1,000 or something. People probably want to call to just make sure that the store is legit. And from there, you can call them back and you have an opportunity to upsell. So that's, in my view, that's fantastic. When it comes to the express checkout option here, I definitely advise that you do add these payment gateways, because they are also a trust signal for people. And with checkout, you definitely want to emphasize trust as much as possible. So at least PayPal and Amazon Pay are good options. GPay, people don't usually use that, so you'll see like maybe 0.2% of people actually used it. So you might be better off, at least for now, just using these two. They achieve the same thing, basically, with less choice. Another thing with Shopify checkout that I personally love is these little boxes here. So you can have all your policies come up like this. And if a customer has a concern or question, they are not taken away from the checkout. So just make sure that you have these, and make sure that they are clearly laid out so they are readable, they are well structured like here, and people can just ideally just browse through them, look over them briefly, and get a good idea of what are the terms, what are the conditions. Then next, let's look at the fields that you should show. Now, generally, the less fields you show, the better, because when a customer looks at it, this view here, they don't really want to start filling all these fields. And even if they're optional, they still look like more work. So in general, I always advise people to remove, for example, the company field, because that's not necessary to fill in with the checkout, even if it's optional. So the less fields we can have, the better, but it's also the least fields that we can get away with. So we'll still need some fields. So these are my recommended checkout settings that we have found that work best for the customers, and we found a good reason behind it and tested this, that these do increase the conversion rates. So customer accounts definitely should be disabled, and these are things that you can find from the settings and checkout. So you can just go and edit them right now. Customer contact. This is a good thing to have on, so it just doesn't really matter that much, but these are the most important ones. So you'll have the form options. Typically it feels better to also add your first name, even if it's like one thing that you have to add. It still confirms that, okay, it's going for Samuel instead of Larsen. So that's a nice thing to have, just a little psychological confirmation that this package knows where it's heading to. Company names usually hidden, especially if you don't have a B2B business. Then address lines optional. So sometimes people do like to add that second line, but it's either hidden or optional. Both are fine. And this one, last one, is also one where you can go both ways. I'll show you soon, if you do choose optional, why that would be important to modify the language a little bit. So there you have it for those fields, and then I would definitely use the shipping address as the billing address and enable those auto completions. This is up to you basically, and that's about that. For email marketing, you want to have it pre-selected. It's a little bit sketchy with GDPR usually, but you're unlikely to get punished for it. So I just recommend to utilize the gray area here a little bit, because you do want to have these people on your list, and it's oftentimes huge difference if you make people opt out versus making people opt in. So don't make them tick that box, make them untick that box in order to get most emails. And definitely you should have the abandoned cart emails in place. Now there's an interesting thing here in the beginning. In the end, you have the checkout language. And once we click this button, we get taken to a page like this. And on this page, we can edit some of that default language. So we have the checkout and system. And this is where you'll find all the texts that are in that checkout. Now there's a few things we can do with this, but basically here's my suggestions. In general, you don't want to go for anything that is too outside of the norm. So people are used to shopping a certain way and they expect a certain type of experience, and anything that is too outside of that experience can cause friction, can cause distrust. So here we have the payment, and once we scroll down, we have the title payment. Now, it's a little bit of a geeky techie hack, but we've noticed that if we just change this to secure payment, we get the tiniest conversion boost. It's a principle that works in a subconscious level. So sometimes people suggest that you should put all kinds of trust signals to your site, but if you emphasize trust too much, then people get overly conscious about security. And once they're overly conscious about security, they are also concerned about the risks. But if you can subtly hint it that this is a secure thing to do, then it's a lot more powerful. And this is where these kind of titles can be helpful. Next thing we have is our phone and emails. So let's go and filter by phone. And from here, you'll find that you have the optional phone label and you have the mandatory phone label. So here, shipping line phone label. So mobile phone number required is the default text. Now here, under this or after this required, you can just type mobile phone number required for shipping confirmation or required for delivery. You give that person a reason to fill that in, and they're much more likely to do that. Same for email, but instead of it being for shipping, phone number is for shipping. That makes sense. The delivery guy might call you. But for email, that will be required for the order confirmation. So the same exact principle works. Now we have covered the step 1 of the checkout, so the information start. Now there's 2 more, and the next one is shipping. So what I'll do here is just fill in some details. And on page 2, we can find these. So these are all good, but I have very little idea of when do these products come to me. And that is what we could cover here. We have control over these shipping method names, and we can check them out here. So you have the shipping, and here you would have the options for that shipping. So what you can do here is just edit them into the name. So here's tacticalbabygear.com. They have a Shopify Plus account, so they are able to showcase this. But what you can do is just have the name and put the times in brackets under it or after it. So you'll have the same information. It won't be as pretty, but it conveys to the people that are checking this out, when will I get my package? And they'll be a lot more comfortable after that to proceed to this checkout or to continue the payment. And then on this last secure payment section is basically where the magic happens. Now it's just about getting out of their way, providing all the options that people want to have, and collecting the money, enjoying your success as an e-commerce merchant, and celebrating your victories. Now that's it. 15 minutes of e-commerce optimization tips for your cart or checkout, and this is the most important phase. So I hope that it was helpful. That's all my experience in 5 years as a Shopify e-commerce consultant and growth optimization. Now make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to provide a lot more of actionable e-commerce videos for you to watch, and you'll get a lot of interesting behind the scenes materials of what we as consultants suggest to our clients. And see you in the next video. Thanks.